Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. Samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka 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 samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all be happy, may all be free. 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 Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu lokam samasta sukhino bhavantu lokam samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all be happy, may all be free, 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 may all be happy, may all be free. Lokam samastam sukhino bhavantu. Lokam samastam sukhino bhavantu. Lokam samastam sukhino bhavantu. Lokam samastam sukhino bhavantu. May all be happy, may all be free, may all be happy, may all be free, may all be happy, may all be free, may all be happy, may all be free. Lokam samastam sukhino bhavantu. Lokam samastam sukhino bhavantu. Lokam samastam sukhino May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. This is what all of us want, is it not? In a nutshell. Happiness, some peace in our lives, some freedom, inner freedom. It's really that probably the primal human desire within us as humans is to be happy and to be free. That's certainly what I wanted when I first kind of embarked on a more conscious spiritual path myself, and I was in my early 20s, and decided to go to India to study and practice in a yoga ashram in Rishikesh, India, and I traveled through Europe and Africa and the Middle East on my way to Asia. Then when I got to India, for any of you that have been to India, it's a very large country. It's very populated, and also it was very hot. I arrived there in the hot season. And I was a little bit overwhelmed by the intensity of being in India, and decided that after a year of traveling that I needed to go up into the Himalayas to cool off. So I did a trek from outside of Kathmandu to the base camp of Mount Everest. And this is a long time ago when they didn't have any roads up there, they didn't have any restaurants or hotels or anything. So one either stayed with Tibetan refugee families. The Tibetans had fled from Tibet into Nepal and northern India. So one could either stay in their home, you could sleep on the floor, and they would cook a meal, and you give them some money. So you could either find your lodging and food that way, or you could stay in a Tibetan Buddhist monastery. And so I did both because it was a month-long trek to near the base camp. And that was really my first exposure to Buddhism, was staying in these Buddhist monasteries. And it touched me just very deeply inside, the peacefulness of it, the color of the robes, the shaven heads of the monks and the nuns, the chanting, the fact that they were doing meditation, and they didn't ask me for any money. They just let me be there and in this beautiful environment in the Himalayas. So I spent some time in these monasteries, and along this trek met an American who had just come from a place called Bodh Gaya, which is where the Buddha was enlightened in north central India. So I wanted to go back into India from Nepal. So I went almost directly to Bodh Gaya. And for anyone who's been to Bodh Gaya, there are representative temples of all the different Buddhist countries there. So there's Japanese Buddhist monastery temple in the architecture of Japan. There's a Tibetan monastery, a Burmese temple, Korean temple, Thai temple. It's really kind of magical. All these different temples in the architecture of the countries from which the lineages came from. And I walked into the Thai temple, walked up the steps into the chapel area, and there was a beautiful bronze statue of the Buddha. And I looked at that Buddha, and my whole world changed. My whole world changed. All the chakras opened up. My heart opened up. My third eye opened up. So I've got all this energy, and finally, I had found what I was looking for.
My whole life I was looking for this. And I grew up as a Christian in New York, and, I always was connected to the church and had a love of Jesus, but at a certain point, like by the time I got to college, my path had changed, and I needed something else. I needed something that was more relevant for me in my life at that particular point. And I didn't know what it was. I dropped out of college. I realized I was not going to find it in college. So why was I in college? To get out of the draft, to not go to Vietnam. That's why I was in college. And that didn't seem like a very good reason to be in college, just to not be drafted. So I left, and then I started practicing yoga on my own in my bedroom in the house that I grew up in, while I was dealing with the draft board. And then I found a yoga center in New York, in Manhattan, got involved in that, and that's why I began this journey to the east to pursue it more full time. And when I walked into that Thai temple and saw that Buddha, I knew that I had come home, and that I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn a lot more. And India is primarily Hindu and Muslims in India. Once upon a time, long ago, when Emperor Ashoka was the ruler of India, large portions of India were Buddhist. But for various reasons, that changed. And now you just find little pockets of Buddhists in some different parts of India. So I wanted to learn more about Buddhism, so I thought I'd go to a Buddhist country, and then from India travel to Burma and to Thailand. And I took a train up to the north of Thailand to a place called Wat Doi Suthep. It was way up on a mountain. And they were selling some books in front of the temple there. And one of them was, several of the books were in English. And one was called Handbook for Mankind. It had a beautiful, on the cover, a beautiful picture of a setting sun. And I opened up the book, and it was about the basic teachings of the Buddha, about the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, how suffering arises, and how there can be the cessation or the ending of suffering. And I knew exactly what this book was talking about when it was talking about suffering, because I had experienced a lot of suffering in my life, personal suffering in my life, and also the suffering of my family as well. And at that time, many of us were there, in the United States when the Vietnam was going on. There was a lot of suffering in our culture as well, a lot of suffering in this country, because people were getting killed, and we were killing people. And so all of this kind of suffering came to a head for me, and I knew that I had to find something that was going to bring me some happiness and some freedom and some peace. I knew it was out there. I just didn't know how to get to it. I just didn't know how to find the way, so to speak. But I picked up this book and I started reading this book, and the lights started going on, inside. And the author of this book was a teacher named Ajahn Buddhadasa, who lived in the south of Thailand in Suratani province. I didn't know it at the time, but Ajahn Buddhadasa was a great Thai master, who was highly revered in Thailand, and who would go he was a great speaker, and he would go to various places around Thailand and give talks, and many of these talks were transcribed into these little booklets in English. And so when I went to visit him at Swan Mok, which is the name of the monastery that he lived in, he was very welcoming. He gave me all these books, pamphlets, of talks that were transcribed into English. Gave me a little hut in the forest, to stay in. And I ate some of the food that the monks brought back from alms round. And I was in heaven. And again, they didn't ask anything from me. They just this open-handed, generous, welcoming me to the Dharma. So I landed in a good place, with Ajahn Buddhadasa. His name, Buddhadasa, means a servant of the Buddha. Buddhadasa. Dasa means servant. He was a servant of the Buddha. And very, very, very much loved. A brilliant man, a great meditator, and also a scholar, and could speak a number of different languages, including English, which was very unusual for a Thai person to speak English, because they don't really have a second language in Thailand. They were never colonized by the French or the British, so they speak Thai in Thailand. And so I got more and more interested, as a result of reading these books and inspired by them. But my visa was going to run out, and I had to leave the country because, no more visa. So I was going to take the train from Suratani down to Malaysia. So the Suratani province is about halfway down the southern peninsula of Thailand to the border of Malaysia. And the rickshaw driver didn't get me to the train on time. So I missed the train. There was only one train a day. So we had to go back to the monastery and wait for the next day to get the next train. And I'm walking around the monastery, and all of a sudden I see this monk who didn't look Thai. He looked like a Westerner. And I didn't, I had to take a second look. Who is this person? And because I had never seen a Western monk, I didn't know that there were Western monks. And so I, went up to him and I introduced myself. And he was from England, and he had come to Thailand to work with the equivalent of the Peace Corps, the English Peace Corps in Thailand. And he knew how to speak Thai. And he had just ordained in the province just south of there, in the Kwansi Thammarat province. Ajahn Buddhadasa did not ordain people. And I didn't know you could ordain as a Westerner. But I couldn't ordain in his monastery anyway, because he didn't ordain people. You could ordain someplace else and come and live in his monastery. And, and take him as one of your teachers. But Vajiro, my English friend, said, well, there's this other monastery just south of here called Wat Thao Kot in the Kwansi Thammarat province, and there you can ordain, and there's an Indian monk who lives there who speaks both Thai and English, because the teacher didn't speak Thai. And there's some other Westerners there. There's like 3 or 4 other Westerners who live there. So I said, well, maybe I'll stop there on the way down to Malaysia and, see what it's like. Again, they were very welcoming to me. And I stayed there for a while, and I practiced, and I realized I did want to ordain. But I had to go to Malaysia to renew my visa, and then I promised to come back and to stay in this monastery. When I arrived at this monastery, I was at a point in my life where either this worked or it was the end of the line for me. You know that feeling? Yeah, I see a lot of heads going like this. We try everything to find happiness, everything to find peace, everything to find freedom, whether it be drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever. We do everything to try and find that deeper place, of peace and happiness and joy, and love inside of ourselves. And, just naturally we look externally for it, because, well, it's not here. It must be out there someplace, and we look out there long enough and it doesn't work. Or it works to a certain degree, but then it doesn't last. It's not a lasting peace. It's not a lasting freedom. It doesn't have very, very deep roots, which is really what we're looking for. Something that's really grounded in something much deeper than something that, you just take, you imbibe within yourself, and then, it lasts for a certain period of time, and then, it goes away. So when I arrived at the gates of the monastery that time, it was either, this has to work. If it doesn't work, what am I going to do? Which was kind of a good way to go into it. I didn't go into it lightly. I didn't at all. And, I said, I'm going to really give myself fully to this. I'm going to really try this, this Buddhist thing, this monk thing, and see what happens. I got nothing to lose, that was my mindset at this time. And so I ordained, and when I ordained, the first night, you go through a ceremony and they shave your head and you're wearing these robes that feel funny on you, and I'm sitting in my kuti, my hut, and then I think to myself, what did I just do? Here I am in these monk's robes with a shaved head. On the other side of the world, when I left the United States, I didn't even know where Thailand was. I knew it was in Southeast Asia, but I didn't know exactly where it was in Southeast Asia. No one here speaks the same language as me. The food is very funny. And how long am I going to do this? So I thought, well, the Buddha got enlightened in 6 years, I believe it was. The Buddha got enlightened in 6 years. So what I'll do is I'll stay ordained for 6 years, really do this practice, I'll get enlightened, and then I'll go back to the United States. And then I can live a normal life again. Well, obviously, that didn't work too well. There's that kind of thinking. I realized not long after that it was going to be a much longer haul, than just staying here for 6 years and becoming enlightened and then going back home and living a more normal life again, whatever normal means, to us. So, I was very, very inspired in being in this place, by the monks, by the practice, by the culture. When we talk about, the significance of Sangha, that how the Thai people and the monastic community held this really crazy young Westerner in an embrace, in a Dharma embrace, and supported me through all of my craziness when I was there. I will forever be indebted to them. Forever. Forever. And how for hundreds and thousands of years, this Buddhist lineage of people that have practiced the Dharma, have practiced it deeply, have found freedom and peace and love, and openly shared that with other people, and people that don't look like them, people that don't talk like them, people from different religions, people such as myself. We talked about dana. Ruth talked about dana last evening to our group, to our retreat, and how it means giving. The word dana means giving. Well, they gave and gave and gave. Unconditional giving. Never asked for one thing back except that you be a good monk. By being a good monk, you practice. That you observe the precepts. That you find, your place in the middle of this culture. And you do that skillfully. That's all that they ask of you. And how much that opens the heart when people relate to us with that unconditional love and unconditional giving, how that so deeply touches all of us. It ignites that generosity inside of ourselves. It ignites that love and compassion inside of ourselves. It's all there inside of us. The generosity, the love, the compassion, the wisdom, all the peace, all of that is already inside of ourselves. But sometimes we need other people in our lives, whether it be teachers or sangha, people who've been practicing for a while, people who've dedicated their lives to this. We need that like a mirror to us. It gets reflected back to us. When we see somebody who's practiced for a long time and how peaceful they are, or non-reactive they are, or accepting, or loving, or compassionate that they are. When we interact with people like that, whether it be face to face or maybe you hear it on the internet or a CD or whatever the case may be, it touches something inside of us, and we know that is inside of us as well. That's there inside. And all we need to do is have teachings and practices and a sangha to work with that's going to help us to access that within ourselves. And that's the beauty of it. That is why this place exists. This place exists because the venerables here are part of a lineage of monks and nuns, for hundreds and thousands of years who have practiced this, studied and practiced, imbibed it, lived it deeply, and it's been passed from one generation to another generation to another generation. Here we are. In rural North Carolina, in a Buddhist monastery, retreat center. Who would have thought, that this would happen? But it's the magic of the Dharma. The Dharma is magical. Leading these retreats is the most wonderful, wonderful thing. It really is. It's so wonderful. To have people come wanting to learn, being so open, being willing to spend 3 days in silence, to find that peace within. It's very, very special. Very special. One moment, please. I probably shouldn't give a Dharma talk right after leading a retreat. I'm too open. You can see what it does to me, these retreats. You're thinking that you leave in a nice space after attending a meditation retreat. Well, after leading one, that's even intensified even more, which is one of the reasons why I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do this. But essentially, the message that I want to offer today is that, and everybody knows this already. I'm not saying anything new to you. But everything that we need, and the Buddha said this as well, everything that we need to realize, to find this happiness and this peace and love and freedom from suffering within ourselves, it lies right here in our body and our mind. That we don't need to look anyplace else for that outside of us for that. That it's right here. It's right here. All that we need are the teachings and the tools and the practices to realize that within ourselves. And that's what, this place is about. That's what our retreats are about, is just offering people the tools that work, that help us to find deeper concentration and mindfulness and clarity of mind and openness of heart. It's time proven. Many beings have walked this path before us. So when I see people having a challenging time, just like I had a challenging time when I was a monk, there are many times where I wanted to escape that monastery that I was living in. I was suffering so much at the beginning that I would sit in my kuti, in my hut, and at night, and I would plan how I was going to escape from the monastery. And it had barbed wire around it. And they would close the gates at night. It was like being in a prison. That's what it felt like. Well, the gates are closed. You're in. There's no way you're getting out. And I would plan in my mind how I was going to, I couldn't face the teacher and say, I can't do this. I want to disrobe and go home. I just want to go home to my mommy. This is too hard for me. I couldn't do that. I couldn't face the teacher and do that. So I thought, well, I'll have to escape some other way. So I planned, okay, I'll wait till everybody's asleep in the middle of the night. Somehow I get over the fence. I don't have any money, but some way I'll get back to Bangkok. Make my way back to Bangkok on the train or something. They don't charge you if you're a monk. And then I'll find some temple in Bangkok and I'll disrobe there. And no one will ever know, they'll know that I left, but I won't have to face them as some kind of a Dharma failure. A flunky yogi that just couldn't do it. I would plan this in my mind continuously. I would plan it. But there was something that said, this is the end of the line. You can't escape it. You can't escape your suffering. You have to go through your suffering. As painful as life may be at times, we can't bypass it. Can't go around it. It doesn't work. We have to go through it. But we have to go through it with love. We have to go through the suffering with compassion, with kindness for ourselves, in being human and having karma and unresolved karma, having conditioned mind, having strong emotions like fear and anger and jealousy and envy and unworthiness. All of those things that are so painful for us. Strong desire and grasping, wanting things to be other than the way that they are, being separated from what we love and cherish in our life, not getting what we want in our lives, all of these things that create suffering for us. It's hard. It's very hard work. Really the hardest work that we can ever do. Is this inner work, the spiritual work. It's like having, spiritual surgery on oneself. Nobody's doing it on you, We're doing it on ourselves, to ourselves, essentially. We're doing surgery on ourselves. And, along with that, having to learn how to do it. For a Western monk in Thailand, first of all, the teachers speak a different language. So to really get any teaching, you have to learn Thai. Well, it takes time to learn Thai. Not an easy language to learn. And then there's the interpretation of those teachings. And so it's kind of like we stumble towards the light. We stumble towards the Dharma. It's not that there's this clear beacon, and we're just being drawn to it, in a very easeful way. Maybe you have seen this in your own practice. It's really not like that. It's like, we move forward, and sometimes it feels smooth, and sometimes it feels like we're really blocked. Nothing's really happening, and then we lurch forward on the path some, and we learn some things. We have some insights, but it's not integrated into our life yet. And so we have to go through the process of having those insights integrated into our daily lives, for us to be able to move forward again in an effective way. It's not necessarily a straight path. Sometimes we meander along that path, in different ways. Some people come to retreats and, they practice years ago, and then for various reasons, they drop it. And, for 5, 10 years or longer, they don't do any practice at all. And then certain things happen in their life that call them back to it. Our paths have so many twists and turns, and we experience it in so many different ways. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's one of the most difficult things that we can do, but it's also one of the most meaningful and precious things that we can do. Because what can be more meaningful than becoming a wiser person, a more understanding person, a more compassionate person, empathetic person, understanding person? What can be more precious than that, more meaningful than that? Because it not only affects us, it affects everyone that we meet, everyone that we touch. And it spreads out and out and out. It's like that pebble, in a lake. You drop a pebble in a lake, and there's ripples and ripples and ripples and ripples and ripples and ripples. It's like the Dharma. It just keeps expanding and expanding. Our world needs this. We're at a place with so much division, so much hatred, so much conflict that's happening right now. Well, the Dharma is a remedy for that. If we're going to have true peace in this world, true love in this world, it's got to begin with each of us. We certainly can't, wait for Congress to give it to us. Yeah, we'll just kind of leave that where it is. It has to happen here. It has, right here. This is where it needs to begin. Right here in our hearts. And that, so the responsibility is here. The responsibility, no one's responsible for our happiness and peace and love. No one can give that to us. No one's responsible for it but us. It's our calling. It's our own inner calling, our spiritual calling. And, the Buddhist path, the Buddha path, for me has been, one that has been helpful. I do truly believe that there are many paths that lead us to the same place here. It's just there are so many different human beings. There are so many different paths, too, that can lead us to the same truth and the same happiness and the same peace. The important thing is our dedication to our path, giving ourselves fully to it. I like the image that the Zen teacher Suzuki Roshi, if you have ever read the book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, it used to be like the seminal Buddhist book back in the day when Buddhism first came to the United States. A wonderful Zen teacher, and in the book, Suzuki Roshi says, the Dharma is like when you walk through a fog. And if you walk through a dense fog long enough, your robes or your clothes are going to get soaked by the fog. The Dharma is like that. You know, I mean, sometimes it rains heavy and we get soaked. And that's wonderful. You know, we have enlightenment experiences, profound experiences, great heart opening, etc. You know, those things happen as part of our practice, but most of it is like walking through the denseness of that fog and letting it just soak us. Do you see? So we're drenched in the Dharma. It's a good thing to get drenched by the Dharma. To let it drench us, you know, fully. So that, you know, it becomes so much a part of our lives. And informs every aspect of our lives. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I just want to thank again, you know, the Venerable Panyavati and Panyadeepa for your lives and for your dedication to the Dharma. I know you do a lot for the Dharma in many different capacities, and have given your life to the Dharma. And that's very, very special. Very special. Well, thank you so much, you know, to both of you, you know, for your lives and your practice, your dedication, you know, and also what you have created here as well. And also want to thank all of the Buddhas, you know, through eons of time, people that have awakened and passed down these teachings to us, these practices to us. Because without them, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't be meeting here today. You know, we wouldn't be sharing this. It's because of them. You know, a deep bow of gratitude to all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all of those beings that have contributed, you know, to our welfare, so that we can be happy, we can be free, we can be happy, we can be free. May all beings be happy, may all beings be free. May all be happy, may all 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 be free.
Sukino Bhavantu Lokam Samasta Sukino Bhavantu Lokam Samasta Sukino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu samasta sukino bhavantu loka samasta sukino bhavantu loka samasta sukino bhavantu. May all be happy, may all be free, 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 may all be happy, may all be free. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. 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 May all be happy, may all be free, 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 may all be happy, may
through the power and the love of the Dharma, may all beings be happy. May all beings be free.